Hey YouTube, this is Nightmare here. I just want to do a video about my Polar Star. I've got it probably about a year ago and I have never had any problems with it. I've did some modifications to it, as you can see with the trigger, and I've actually changed my nozzle and it's nice. Pretty much what I described to everybody with the speed trigger is if you put your trigger on safety and pull your trigger, that's what my trigger pull is. There's barely any trigger pull at all, but there's enough so that way I don't bump it on the side and it'll go off. But I'm going to be going over what I did to get the trigger in there, because I did have to shave down the inside of the fusion engine just a little bit just to get it in there. And I'm going to go over everything and try to answer a bunch of questions I know that I had when I was looking for my first Polar Star. So I'm going to go ahead and tear this apart and then I'll get back with you. Okay, I'm back. I have disassembled my body of my Polar Star, and this is the Polar Star unit. It's basically the same thing as a gearbox. It's exactly the same. It will pretty much fit into most guns, but some bodies of some guns are a little bit wider, so you may have to shim it up a little bit and do some modifications to it. But as you can see, mine's wired to the back. I've taken the fire control unit, the FCU, off, and it's right here. It just disconnects. This is the version 2 Gen 2 Polar Star units, the older one. They just now came out with the Gen 3. But as you can see, I have it wired to the back. It goes into the buttstock. But I've already taken the screws out, so I'm going to take this off to show you. Okay, there's my speed trigger. Of course, the spring popped out. Okay, right there you can see I had to file down the gearbox, or not the gearbox, the fusion engine just a little bit, so that way I could get the trigger actually in there. And I had to shave down a little bit there. You see that little angled cut? I had to do a little bit of shave down there. But other than that, it works still perfectly fine. One of the biggest questions I had was, what if I wanted to take the wire from the back and stick it into a PEC box up front or something? Well, it's just as simple as doing that. There's a little cubby hole in there, and it fits right into. And it's just as simple as that. If you want to go from the back wire to the front wiring, you can just do that. You can also take it and put it down into your grip, but you have to have a shorter wire so that way it fits in your grip. And that's my trigger. And I'm going to show you how to swap nozzles. Just let me get everything unscrewed and I'll get back to you in a second. Okay, I'm back. I got the screws out. As you can see right there, that's one of them. There's another one up top here. They were screwed inside. I just took them out, and there's another little flathead screwdriver right there. As you can see, I had to unscrew that, and then this screw, and another screw on the top right there. And then after I do that, all I have to do is take this, spread it apart just like that, and then take it and turn it, twist it off, and that comes totally off. So that way I can change the poppet valve, which is inside here. And I'm not going to get into detail with that because I don't know too much about that, but I will look into that pretty soon and probably do a video on that too. All I have to do is push this out, and there's my air nozzle. That's the black air nozzle. It's one higher than blue, which blue is right around 400. This is about 430, I guess, 415, 4 something. It's the low 40s or 400s. That's what I know. But when I first got my Polar Star, I thought I was going to be shooting right at 400 with the blue nozzle. But it wasn't, because it depends on your barrel size. and mine was shooting about 345 or so, so I went to the black nozzle, and now it's shooting about right at 400 or 15 below it, right in that area. It stays pretty much the same. Like I said, I had it for a year and there's no problems with it. There's a solenoid there. There's just two moving parts in the whole entire thing. There's just those two things, and they only cost $60 if they go bad. Everything else is controlled by air. When you pull the trigger, air comes up through the tank, and it goes through the poppet valve, and it comes out here, and it goes to the air nozzle, and then that goes back and forth, so that way it fires the BB. I use the same hop ups. I use the same barrel setups. I use all the same stuff. It's just I have three actual barrels. I have a stubby, I have a mid-length, and I have a DMR setup. I showed that in my gun arsenal video, if you've seen that already. If not, go check it out. But I've shown that, and I will do updates on that also, on just that alone, instead of doing all my guns. Also, the thing about Polo Stars is that you don't want to use a tight bore barrel or a hard bucking. You want to use soft bucking and a wide bore barrel. Like on my DMR setup, I use a 6.23 Orga barrel, and yes, I did say 6.23. It's a wide barrel. It's not 6.1, 6.2, 6.3, 6.4, all those. It's 6.23. And for best accuracy, I use 40 gram BBs. They travel way more than a 20 gram BB, and a 20 gram BB in a Polar Star is basically like a 12 gram BB in an AEG. It's really inaccurate. It's basically just blind firing because it flies everywhere. But you can use I recommend anything from 30s and up to 40s. I know 40s get really pricey. It's about $20 for 2,000 BBs. So it's really pricey. So sometimes I use about 30s or so. And that's my Polar Star. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe.